Oh my gosh. This is such a cool discovery. Growing your own sprouts at home. So you start with seeds. Give me any seeds like this, sprout seeds. And with this sprout kit. And it's just a jar, right? And then it's this screen lid. And I'll show you why that's important. But isn't that cool? Can you see it? Here's the screen lid. Can you see it? Can you see it? And 4 days later, 3 if it's warmer, look what you get. You get a jar crammed with sprouts. I actually put in too many seeds. And so that's why it's so full. Can you see how full it is? Can you see it? Can you see how full? Can you see it? And then I have these little lids that make it airtight, because that's important once you're done growing. You want to put it in the fridge so it doesn't keep going, and then you put an airtight thing on here because the screen isn't going to work, because then it lets air in, and lots of reasons for not doing that. But then it kind of stops the growth, and then you can eat it at your leisure. But let me just show you day one, what you do in day one. And you take off the screen, and then you pour some seeds in there. But it's easy to pour in too many. It really doesn't take much. So I pour just enough now, because I learned the hard way, that you can still see the middle of the jar in the bottom. Because I was filling it up until I couldn't see any of the bottom of the jar. And that was too much. And then you end up with a jammed jar of sprouts. And then I use my Berkey here. It's filtered water, of course, is best, right? So then you just put enough water in there to cover the seeds. And that's it. That much water. Can you see that? Can you see how much water? Can you see it? Can you see it? And then this is optional extra. So this is electrolyte concentration with minerals. I squirt just like that much in there. It's not much. And then swish it around. So now when the seeds are soaking, and this is just overnight, they're also soaking up extra minerals, which they can use later, and it makes it extra nutritious. But again, that's a total extra step. Don't even bother if you don't wanna. If you want to just keep it simple, seeds, filtered water, overnight, and then I'll show you tomorrow what we do for the next step. It's so easy. You're not even going to believe how easy it is to get a jam-packed jar of sprouts. And sprouts are arguably the most nutritious food on the planet. There are people that would argue about that. But the vitamins and minerals are so dense in sprouts. When I have a sprout salad, I don't even put leaves in there. It's just sprouts for my salad. And it's gotta be worth 5 or more salads of greens. I have greens, I like greens. This is a great spinach spring mix combination. Organic, of course, everything's organic. Can you see it? Can you see organic? Can you see this? Can you see it? That's fantastic. And then, so if you really like salads like that, then you put the sprouts on top. But I'm making sprouts so fast, faster than I can eat them. I just put these in a bowl and then have just a sprout salad, which is like 5 bowls of this as far as nutritional value goes. But yeah, I just can't, I'm just so excited about this. And you gotta know how to do this because it's so easy, it's so cheap. And my sprout salad is just pennies, because a little bit of seed can grow a whole lot of sprouts as opposed to dollars if it were the leafy greens. And so just for budget purposes, it's phenomenal, but also for prepper purposes. If you're a prepper, you wanna grow your own food, and you don't wanna have to go outside to do it, sprouts, baby. That's how you get nutrition. Real easy, real fast in 4 days or less. And how fun would this be for kids? A kids project? Oh gosh, there's just so many reasons you gotta start growing sprouts. This kit is like 30 bucks on Amazon, 2 jars. It's got the drip trays and stuff, which you'll see later. These, I don't know, 20 something a bag, but there's weeks of meals in these 2 bags, maybe months. I just started doing this, but the way it's going, yeah, I bet this is months of food.
Good morning. So here they are. I've been soaking all night. It doesn't have to be soaking all night. It can be soaking from morning to evening too, but just, at least 8 hours. And then you just pour this water out. They've been soaking in. And then you put new water in, because now we're just rinsing them. And then you just pour that water out. And then you have these handy little drying racks that come with the kit. And then that's it. You just set it on the drying rack and it drips. Water keeps coming out. So they stay moist, but they don't ever dry out and they're not soaking anymore. And now I'm going to do this again at night, and then tomorrow morning and tomorrow night, morning and evening, rinsing. One more step. On day 1, maybe 2, I have them in the bag, and it keeps a lot of the light out. Can you see it? Can you see it? Can you see it? So I just put this over, and then I'm going to put it solid side up. Set this aside till tonight when I rinse them again. So easy.
Alrighty then. So I've got my rack over here, and I have rinsed it in the evening since the last video, and in the morning this morning, and now I'm going to rinse it again for the evening rinse. These should be rinsed twice a day, and they're already starting to sprout. Can you see it? Can you see those already? Can you see it? And can you see they're starting to poke out of the screen? Can you see it? Can you see it? Now I'm rinsing them again. And when I do this, I pour it through the screen so that as they're kind of growing through the screen, they get a little stuck in there, so then the water pushes them down. And just swish it around a little bit or not, and then pour that water back out and just put it back in the rack. Every morning and evening. That's all you do, every morning and evening, until it's a full jar of yummy sprouts. Can you see it? And I have these little airtight lids on there, and can you see it? Can you see it? I'm gonna make a salad right now. Heck, why not? This is from a few days ago. I'm having trouble eating them fast enough, and so I slowed down my growth. So as you pull it out, they kind of expand because they've all grown together and they've jammed themselves in there. And so then it's like the 5 loaves and 2 fishes. It just expands and grows as you pull it out. If you didn't get that reference, you should start reading your Bible. So I could just put dressing on that and eat it, and it would be delicious. I do a little bit different than that, add some more stuff. Everybody has their own personal preferences. I'll show you what I add. But look, so look at how much is in there. This is a big bowl, and look how much is in there. And look how much I took out. I'm gonna take out more, that's ridiculous. So I don't want this to sit in the fridge for days and days. And in another 2 days, that jar's gonna look like this. And so I gotta hustle on this. I gotta eat more. But it's dense nutrition. So good for me. Look at how much that is. Look at that. Look at it. That's, can you see it? Can you see it? Look how much I used. Like a third or less of this. Can you see it? What shall I put on this? Well, I like nutritional yeast. Tons of vitamins and minerals. Yummy, goodness, nutritional. Can you see it? I'm just gonna sprinkle some of that on there because it's yummy. It's kind of a cheesy taste almost. And speaking of cheese, I'm gonna put some cheese on there. Oh, look what else I have, an avocado. Oh, look what else I have. Some sauerkraut. And if you cringe from hearing the word sauerkraut, then welcome to 2023. There are tons of yummy flavors now in sauerkraut. So here's a little hack. After I put the yeast on there, I put my dressing on there. This is Flavor Grenade dressing, and this is on the xgym website. If you go to xgym.com, go up to the top, click the word recipes, that takes you to our recipe site. And so we're gonna pour that all up on under. That looks yummy. Didn't quite have enough, so I'm gonna cream that up a little bit with some avocado mayo that I have mixed with this. So this is the mayo, Primal Kitchen. It's really good, avocado. Can you see it? And then mixed with the Ninja Squirrel Sriracha. It makes it spicy. Can you see it? And then I'm gonna throw some of that in there because that's delicious. And then it'll be enough dressing. So now I'm just gonna mix the dressing in there. And that's probably good enough. Oh, that's so good. Why is that so good? And then I'm gonna sprinkle a whole bunch of Parmesan on there. And then open this up. Brand new, just got it at Costco. Ooh. Right. And then this is just normal sauerkraut. This isn't even one of the flavors. I used to have to eat the flavors, but then as I acquired a taste, I didn't need those fancy flavors anymore. And just the normal stuff was great. But I like the fancy ones sometimes too. They're just a lot more expensive than getting a big, huge thing like this at Costco. Now, this is billions of yummy probiotic bacteria. You only need that per day, just that much per day. But I put a little more on there. We'll go a little more because it's so yummy. Oh my gosh. And then I'm going to crank on this avocado here. I don't normally do this, but I'm gonna to show you how smart this is, because I can be smart sometimes. This is a cut-proof glove, and this is what you should do when you're cutting into an avocado, or use a plastic knife, which works on avocados especially if they're ripe. So now I'm going to get that pit out of there. This is an organic avocado. That's why it's so small. Non-organic is actually okay-ish to eat because it's one of the cleaner foods that's not organic. But if at all possible, organic is the way to go. So just cut it up into little pieces while it's still in the shell, and then just dump all those little pieces out. Yeah. I'm using the back of the knife, so I can't cut myself if I don't have a glove on. Spread that around. Yummy goodness. I'm gonna do a can of salmon. Wild, of course. always wild, never farm. No, no. Farmed fish is basically junk food. It's like eating a bag of chips. Just don't do it. Just say no to farmed fish. And then take that fork and just mash it up. And that breaks up all the little pieces, and then you can spread them around, stab them, break them. Just kind of mix it around. It's easy to do, and it sprouts and not big huge leaves. And the avocado's mixed in there, the cheese is mixed in there, the dressing's mixed in there. Gosh, what else? Oh, I know what else. Pistachios. That'd be yummy. It's a texture thing too. Just a handful. Oh, I have hemp hearts in here. I shall sprinkle some of those on. This is about as elaborate as I ever get. I'm showing off. But I have done this without showing off before. Here we are. Can you see it? Can you see it? There you go, you can see it. Oh my God. They're so good. My knees got weak. I eat on my knees for safety reasons. Oh. What the heck? This is so good. I challenge you to come up with a more nutritious salad than what I'm eating right now. I don't think you can do it. The right fats, protein, vitamins and minerals up the kazoo, texture, taste, deliciousness, probiotics. Sorry I couldn't wait till the end of all this process to do this, but it's just too delicious. I was jonesing. So next video will be some more days or hours or whatever, so you can see more growth in the sprout action. Wow. Oh my gosh. You gotta do this. Seriously. I started Thursday night. That's when I put the initial seeds in the jar. And now it's Tuesday night. Look at that. Can you see it? Can you see it? And so these are fully developed sprouts. And if I let them go a little longer, they kind of turn into microgreens, but technically you have to be growing that in the soil, and that takes a couple weeks for them to be considered microgreens. But these are sprouts, super nutritious. And so I'm going to rinse this one final time, and then I'm going to put it in indirect light. Not sunlight, because that'll burn these tender little suckers, but indirect light, and then they'll green up a little bit for another day, and they'll get a lot bigger, and then I'll start eating them like I did where you saw me eating the salad. So these are seeds that I started yesterday. Can you see it? I'm going to keep this cover on them for one more day. But let's rinse them, shall we? And by the way, you don't have to get a fancy seed kit like this. It's only $30. But if you already have jars and cheesecloth, just rubber band around the top, cheesecloth, and that's your screen. And so then, just put it back on the tray so it can continue to drip. Pour out some of that water. Rinse this one more time. Tomorrow I'll be eating these. It's taking up most of the jar already, and I put in way less seeds this time. So this is probably perfect, the perfect amount of seeds that I did this time. So the jar is full but not packed. So you're just rinsing them every day with fresh water, filtered preferably, so you don't absorb all the chlorine and fluoride in the water. And then I'm just going to set these aside. I'll eat this one tomorrow, and this one I'll take the cover off tomorrow. So I usually do about 2 days with the cover on and then finish with the cover off. And remember, the temperature makes a difference. So it's been unusually cold since Friday, since this started. So it's taken 2 extra days because of the cold. And if it were warm, or if this was summer, they'd be done in 3 or 4 days. Crazy fast. Gardening is a pain. And I also have a tower garden, and that's easier than soil. I also have a raised bed soil garden. But wow, I'm getting all the nutrients, and I'm doing it all inside. No bugs, no dirt. Oh my gosh, you gotta do this. I've shown you how. Now you do it. Do it.
And that's all I have to say about that.